Last year's Jub Jam headliner, the Josh Weathers Band, will be performing live at the new Tannehill's Tavern and Music Hall in Fort Worth Saturday, November 19th. Ticket wants to send you. Text Josh to 22126 for a chance to win a pair of tickets, or they go on sale this Friday at 10 a.m. For more information, visit livenation.com. Joining us here at our broadcast tent at Cowboys training camp is the Cowboys head coach, Mike McCarthy. Good morning.
Good morning. It's great to be here.
Yeah,
beautiful
thank you.
morning, too.
Yeah.
Huh?
Thank you for the time. You look great.
Oh, thank you.
We understand you've taken up boxing to stay in shape. So do you have any big fights coming up?
No. Well, yeah, we got 17 of them. So, yeah, definitely. But, yeah, definitely. I mean, nutrition, I had a good friend of the family, Jim Roberts, just kind of come and hang out with the family for about 10 weeks, to kick it off. And then there's a group of us, start with Harold Nash, Dan Quinn, group of coaches. We got into boxing with a gentleman by the name of Darren Pierce, Frisco, Texas, and does it right out of his garage. So it's convenient. It's right on the way to work. It's really flows, and, we all love the workout, and he's a great teacher. So
yeah,
it's been good.
It's a really incredible workout. People don't know. We talk about this because we have a boxing night with listeners every year, and they all comment the same thing. 30 seconds in the ring and you're completely exhausted. It's quite taxing, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. And I just think the whole art of boxing, too, just growing up around it. And I think, you forget the most important part of it, the footwork and, the weight distribution, the defensive mechanisms. And, the punching is really the glory part, but that's obviously why we're doing it. So throw a lot of punches and bad footwork. That's my workout. So
do you think you could take any other NFL head coach?
See, I don't know why we're going. We're just working out. Right?
It's working out.
Yeah, I don't have the hands to be screwing around. I'm 58 years old. These hands have seen enough.
I was thinking maybe members of the media could spar with you, like David Moore or something. Maybe you'd like to take a shot at David.
I think I could win that one. I
think you could take David.
David's a good man.
We were just going down your roster, and you know these numbers, but we were interested to learn just looking at the flip card. You only have 7 players over the age of 30.
Yeah.
You have 83 players 29 or younger, 60 players 25 years old or younger. You've been talking about a youth movement. Jerry has, and sometimes that's just coach speak, but that really is this team, and that's got to be really encouraging to you.
Well, I mean, we're definitely into a draft and develop mode, and this is really the world that I have a lot of experience in. It was really my last opportunity. That's all we ever did, all 13 years up there. So I don't think you want to be totally committed to just young guys. The fact that we do have those 7 players over 30 is a good mix. I really like the mix of our veteran players and younger players. But if you don't develop the youth of your football team, then I don't think you can win into the deeper part of the season. And because the reality of it, look at it every year, those young guys are playing in November, December. So you have to start in April that way, or in May when you get them. So, and that's just always been my approach.
Because of some of the attrition, losing a couple players in the offseason, injuries here at training camp, you're going to be asking a lot of those young guys at offensive line and wide receiver in particular to step up and play a more prominent role, perhaps. Does that concern you at all, or do you like what you see out of that crew?
No, I'm not concerned. It's the excitement, and it's really the normal. This is a normal process. I mean, there's always, if you're in a draft and development and really committed to the draft, there's always a part of your roster that you have to develop. I mean, I don't really recall any season as a head coach where you didn't go and say, hey, we got a bunch of young running backs, or we got a young tight end group, or our secondary was always very young, so and that's part of it. I think when you get into a heavy tilted team towards veteran free agency and veterans, it's really a short time, short term. Let's line up and try to go get it. So this is normal. And then on top of the offensive line, let's be honest. I mean, that's the one position I think if you polled every head coach after 2 days of padded work, everybody's saying, man, we got to get our second offensive line more work. And I just think that's just a product of how we train. I mean, these guys really don't have the opportunity to train in pads, and they're how much underwear work can they really do that's going to really get them ready. So I think you see it in practice, the pad level's high, the combination block. I mean, you have to practice those things, and that's why this training camp's so important. It's awesome that we come here because our workload capacity yesterday was outstanding. So, if you can stack about 10 of those types of practices, I think that gives you the chance to be ready.
It's Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy with us here, training camp in Oxnard. When you got here as a longtime offensive coach and a head coach, I think many expected, okay, this is going to be the Mike McCarthy offense, and certainly you've had your influence. Kellen Moore has been known as the play caller. Is that changing at all this year? And how does that work exactly? You just call the touchdowns, or how does that work?
No, I'm the other way. I'm a glutton for punishment. I just cannot get enough criticism from the media, so I just keep bringing it on. That's why I'm working out. I just got done more workout. So no, I think the biggest thing as a head coach is one of my main responsibilities is to tee it up for the coordinators. And the ability to have a veteran coordinator in Dan, and that also brings head coach experience. So there's a tremendous value and benefit there. But John Fossil's the same type of coach in my view too. So and the ability to really coach the team, and frankly, I spent a lot of my time talking about are we making sure we're giving these young guys chances and an opportunity to develop, and so there's a lot more responsibility in personnel. Particularly with our coaches, just making sure we're repping these guys. It's just such a heightened awareness and attention to these practices, because you just don't have the volume of reps that that I'm accustomed to. So I think having all that, and with Kellen, it's year 3. I think the first year we were able to build a system. I mean, end of the day, this whole thing was about capturing what Dak Prescott accomplished prior to me being here, and I wanted to build off of that, and I think we've done an excellent job building our offense around him. So he's the feature. Your quarterback has to be number one in everything you do. That's just the way I've always done it, and I think the system that Kellen and the coaches have built is definitely made him the centerpiece, and and obviously the best thing to help a quarterback is a good run game. So those are the things that we're focused on.
You mentioned a couple times the amount of reps that you're limited to at training camp and in practice. We were talking about this yesterday. The first training camps we went to were Jimmy Johnson camps in Austin, and they had 2-a-days every day.
Middle drill. 3. It was just
we'd be in jail if we practiced like that
right.
So
the amount of work.
Our careers would be over.
Yes,
So.
The amount of work was incredible that they had to go through. So, do you think that has hurt the quality of play in the NFL, the quality of the games, not being able to practice as much?
I've always felt this, and for me it started in 2011 after that that first CBA. I always felt that the drop off was in fundamentals in September, and that's just my opinion. And that's something that I focus on of trying to make sure is that somewhere where we can get an edge? Can we practice more? Because at the end of the day, we all have the same amount of time. You got 11 hours to train your football team now. That's with this new CBA. Those are new rules. So staying in touch with that. But that's where I see the drop off is in the fundamentals and the technique compared to because I coached in the 90s. I coached for Marty Schottenheimer. So
right.
You talk about Marty Schottenheimer, Parcells, Jimmy Johnson. So trust me, 6-week training camps, and you come home and you're exhausted. You're thinking, Christ, the season's just getting started. So it was a whole different world. But so that we're not in that world. But that's where I see it. So that's what I'm always focused on.
I was interested to hear last year when you were on with David Moore, Robert Wolanski on intentional grounding, that you're a Ted Lasso fan, that a coach would watch it and see, just maybe see it the same way we do or a different way. But I do think it's interesting that a coach saw it as, wow, that is the key here is how you relate to players. Mm-hmm. Beyond X's and O's, it's ridiculous that a guy could go and coach a soccer team if all he has is football experience. Or is it? Maybe you could do it. I don't know if you could relate to players, but maybe we do talk about X's and O's and fourth down conversions too much. How much of it is just the relationship that you have with your guys?
I think if you put a bunch of coaches in the room that done it a long time, the X and O's is the fun part. I mean, that's the easy part. It's mathematics. We all enjoy that, especially as a younger coach. You're trying to be more creative than the other guy. But I think when you have the opportunity to be in the league for a couple of decades, you see the cycles of scheme coming in and out, and just the importance of trying to stay on the front side of that cycle with different variations and make sure you protect the things that on offense, your quarterback does really well. So you got to protect him with the variations thing. Because at the end of the day, you got to put the ball in Dak's hand, and he's got to be. I don't want him running a play he has 3 reps in. I want him running a play he has 742 reps in. So, those types of things. But so going to your point, motivation, moving the needle, workload capacity, efficiency, all those things are a big part of winning in today. And I think it's even harder, and it's a big, more fun challenge because of the time restrictions and so forth. So, yeah, that definitely, you'd play for Ted Lasso, wouldn't you?
Heck yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what it's all about.
George is a great soccer player.
No, I'm really not.
No.
Never played.
He's humble, too.
Been
He's
like
very
Dunham.
humble, too, yeah.
That's what you do.
So, Coach, in the almost 30-year history of this show, we've always had somebody, one of the 3 of us, that has been able to do an impersonation of the Cowboys head coach, whoever it was at the time. We're wondering if you've heard the fake Mike McCarthy on our show.
I haven't. Joe had mentioned it, so he told me George was the guy.
George
so
is the guy.
I was hoping I liked him.
There's really not too much to hear, it's just we're just busting balls. That's
Christ,
what
you
we
sound
do.
like Roger Dangerfield. That doesn't sound like Mike McCarthy.
He's getting no respect over there.
No respect.
No,
and I'm not that funny, so that's you got to get to work on that, George.
I know.
It's mainly the way
Falling
you
short
say,
again.
you say his hometown, right?
Oh, Pittsburgh, yeah.
No, he doesn't do it
Pittsburgh
that
A
unintelligible.
little bit of football in Pittsburgh.
Oh man, all that Catholic school education, my mother she'd be on your ass right now, George. Yeah, a lot of wasted money if I talk like that.
Well, we waste a lot of time here too.
Yeah, you're noted for that too. That and your poor Pittsburgh impersonation.
Yeah, terrible.
And Craig
I
does.
enjoyed it. It was great.
Craig does the fake Jerry. You want to hear some of that?
Actually, that's Gordon.
That's
I think
Gordon.
everybody knows that's
No,
Gordon.
no. I actually retired from that.
Oh,
Oh,
my
really?
God.
Why?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, why'd you do that?
Jerry loves it.
Well, he does, but he wants to talk a little bit about it and everything.
That's the new fake Jerry.
And then the old one is more like this, talking crazy.
That didn't even sound like him, does it, Coach? Doesn't
No,
sound
just like
like-
him. You could probably fool Coach with a phone call.
Now we can get a fake Steven going. That's the way we're trying to.
Is that what you're working on?
Trying to develop that.
He
right
makes
now.
it just basically fake Jerry, but a little higher pitch.
Yeah, just
to
talking a little
denote-
bit higher like that.
That's what Steven talks like.
Oh wow.
Oh,
Boy, you guys
Coach
have a
doesn't want
fun
any part
job.
of
I'm on the wrong end of this thing.
Does
That's for
sound
sure.
like
You want to go into broadcasting afterwards? I mean, I know you're not
I
thinking
don't-
about post football yet. You got a season.
I mean, I'm not. I'll be honest with you. Having a year off, you do have a chance to reflect on some things, and I have 5 children, and I got 2 young daughters, so I think my next chapter will hopefully be, with them. So I've missed so much with the other 3. So
Did you get some
So
probably
you-
get sentimental.
so after football,
Yeah.
you would just retire. I mean, you would just.
Oh, I don't know. You got to do something. No, you got to
Be a
keep
house husband.
Keep your head house husband. Yeah, that I could
go over well.
That'd be a great role for me. Yeah, that lasts about a week. I mean, I tell you, the year off. After being home for about 2 weeks, my wife handed me lunch and said, because we have a barn that we call it. She's
Sports barn.
Sports barn. And thank you. So she handed me lunch and said, "All right, you need to go to work. You're not hanging around here all day." So.
Your
I
wife
thought-
makes
I
you
thought
live
I
in a
thought we were
barn.
having- I thought we were having quality time. I looked at it as that. But she's you're screwing up my groove here. So.
Did you get some quality boat time in this the off season?
I did. We enjoyed the Great Lakes up there.
Nice.
In Door County. So we're up there on the bay side. Egg Harbor is the location for. We have a place up there. So that's the weather is really nice. I mean, shoot, I think it was like 75 degrees almost every day. So
Yeah.
we had a nice couple of weeks up there.
What kind of boat you got?
Got a 45 Sabre.
You know
what
what
those
that?
big ones? Yeah, he's got a big one. Yeah.
58's the dream boat, but you know how it is. You get a 24,
pretty
then you
darn
want a
big.
32, and then you want a 45. It's the same.
I
Same
got a
nonsense.
10-foot John boat. Is that
There you
good?
go. Yeah, that's my dinghy, but that's
6 horsepower Johnson on the back.
Well, Coach, we appreciate the time. We know you got to get to a meeting, and thanks for putting up with us.
this is fun. No, definitely. You guys have a great week.
Yeah,
Thanks,
you
you too.
too.
Have a
Good
great
luck
season.
to you.
Take care.
Yeah. That's Mike McCarthy, head coach of the Cowboys, with us here at training camp. All right, it's
Thank you, Coach.
8:48